Hello there, how are you doing? Isn't that good? Definitely the best version of that tune on YouTube. God bless America. And if he has the time, free Britain from the psychopath that's running it so we can get back to the good old days when men were men, sheep were scared, and French sailors were terrified of getting bayoneted in the face by people like me. Back when we had a good job. Right? Then I went to Afghanistan on my 5th tour, and all of a sudden there was Royal Military Police with speed cameras telling that you weren't allowed to drive too fast when the Taliban were trying to poke holes in you with an AK-47. You're like, whoa, hang on, mind the speed limit, Dave. There's a knobhead with a speed camera over there. Never mind the 20 blokes. I mean, yeah, okay, they can't fight and they can't shoot, but still. There's a submariner in. Terrible gig, that. Tell you what, they think you're a tough guy when you go and advance to contact towards the enemy. I'd rather do that against a bunch of pot-bellied dwarves than spend 6 months in a submarine under the ocean. So hats off to you. Joe's put a sticker in the chat. I can never see them. Who cares? Thanks anyway, though. It's the thought that counts. Who's important today? Trevor Harris is in. How you doing? John Higginson. I'm 66. All right. How you doing? John Hunter's in. Sadwings is in. He's not that important, but he always gets a mention because he's a mod. Who else? Joe, you've already mentioned you because you gave me some money. Grasshopper Chirps. How you doing? It does always get you in a cheerful mood, that song, doesn't it? Bill Beebe's in. It is definitely an enslaved communist country. Yeah, but you're after laugh, don't you? It's like I said, I love that on Red Dwarf when he says, status update, we're 10 million miles away from Earth, the human race has gone extinct, we're running out of rations and supplies, but you've got to laugh, don't you? And you do. What else can you do? As I said, if you look back at the Blitz, there's pictures of our ancestors, sitting amongst the rubble of the houses, having a cup of tea with a grin on their face, because at the end of the day, as long as you're breathing, you're winning, aren't you? My old Nana always said, bless her, don't get old, son. Don't get old. It's shit. And I was like, yeah, but better than the alternative, innit? All you want me to do, fling myself under a steamroller when I'm 63. She used to laugh. I think she got it in the end. Ultimately, until they nail me to the floor and I'm physically getting violated by David Lammy, I think I'll still be able to keep a smile on my face. Stam, I don't think he invented it, but he definitely perfected the technique. But I won't read that out loud. Oh yeah, I've starting up with a beer review, haven't I? Because that went down well, and then we started talking about booze for 10 minutes. This one, right, this is going to be good because I haven't tried this before. Right, so for those of you that don't know, Kirkland Signature is like cheap shite, right? Like in the States, it's Costco brand. I think they've got Costco in the UK now, haven't they? It's 2025. I'm a dinosaur. Of course they have. We've got all the same brands, all the same bands. Everything's shit. So of course they've got Costco in the UK, and you know what I'm talking about. Because this is the world we've created. How many times have I told you? That's the world. That's what it's going to look like. The Matrix. 2060. Other than the holdouts, which will be Americans living on little homesteads on their own, nowhere near anyone. The entire planet is going to be the Matrix. It's going to be identical brands, identical bands, same clothes, same hair, same food, same culture, from Tokyo to Timbuktu. And like I said, this is why I'm a nationalist, because it's shit. In 2060, it's terrible that Japan won't be Japanese anymore, and Scotland won't be Scottish anymore, and France won't be French anymore. It's gonna be shit. It's gonna be shit. I mean, I'll still be able to laugh about it, but it's gonna be dog shit. Your grandkids are gonna come and sit on your knee and you'll be like, yeah, I remember when it wasn't shit. I remember when it wasn't shit. I remember when you went to Japan and it was full of Japanese people and Scotland was full of Scottish people. The whole world, thanks to Klaus and the psychopaths that run it, is going to be one gigantic beige shithole and everyone's going to be miserable. So, suck it up. But anyway, I went on a bit of a rant. Kirkland's meant to be shite, right? But this batch, they bought it because Deschutes Brewing, which I visited when I was in Oregon, made a Hell's Lager that got a gold medal in the American Beer Awards. So even though it sounds terrible because it's got a big Kirkland on the top, this is actually Deschutes gold medal winning Hell's style lager. So that's why I bought it. You've got to do your research on these things, haven't you? And it was cheap. It was like worked out about 90 cents a can. And I read about it, apparently that's what they do. If you do your homework to save money, what Costco do is, because they're a gigantic, colossal behemoth with loads of money, they just find something good from the local area and then buy it all. And even though it says Kirkland Signature on the label, you might be drinking like Jack Daniels or Jim Beam or Johnny Walker or something. So let's try this bad boy. This is what Blue Van Man made his name doing, isn't it? Banging that. Banging. You know what it reminds me of? A Rangy Boom. One of my favourites. That's decent, that. 8 out of 10. 10 times better than anything with light on the fucking label. Anyway, one negative about the United States. You can find them in big cans, but you have to buy them. You have to like put some effort in. If you want to get them like en masse, like 24 cans, they come like little Coke cans, which is a bit shit, innit? I'm a pint can man myself. Being an English lad, I used to love, when I was 16, I used to go get a 6-pack of Orangy Boom pint cans and just knack them in the park. Yeah, that's mint. Yeah, right, I told you, Orangy, we used to drink it all the time when we were lads in Borough. It was well cheap. And when I was on the Dutch ship, I said, I love Orangy Boom, when they were asking me what a beer I liked. And they were like, you mean, however it is they pronounced it. Dutch lager's really good. When I was a teenager, I used to love Grolsch. I used to drink Grolsch all the time when I was a young lad. I thought it was nectar. But, yeah, I haven't seen it for a while. They used to sell them big glass bottles with a hinge on. I've seen them in restaurants out here. People save the bottles and use them for salt dispensers. But, obviously, I like Nuki Brown. It never tasted the same, though. It doesn't taste the same now. In the 90s, there was a boozer in Borough called the Isaac Wilsons. It was a Leatherspoons. And in 1998, when I was like massively on the lash 5 days a week because I was a young thruster, they used to sell Nuki Brown for 88 pence a bottle. Christ, I'm turning into my granddad. I'm only 45. How have I turned into my granddad? You're turning into your granddad when you're whinging about the price of a pint. When I were a lad, it was 88 pence a bottle. He used to say the same to me, but it was like fucking 4 pence or something. And I used to think, how is that possible? Do you think it'll go that fast? I guess it does, eh? It was like, I used to think, sure, it's not, it's not going to be 20 times as much. I used to think he was bullshitting me just to talk shit about Wetherspoons. I was like, there's no way it was 4 pence for a beer. But I guess it was. I guess it does go that quick. So does that mean when I'm 70, it's going to be like 40 quid a pint? I hope not. But again, with the scum that run the world nowadays, you never know, do you? With the incompetent, degenerate scum that run the planet these days, maybe it will be 50 quid a pint. Because that's what they're doing, isn't it? They're just printing more money. Because they haven't got a Scooby-Doo what to do. I've told you this loads of times. Europe is done. It's twitching. Nobody wants to accept it, but it's done. They've got nout. They've got no ideas, no plan. It only gets fixed if they embrace a very, very, very right-wing regime, and they won't do it. So you're knackered. The only way you'd get Europe back on its feet is to do all the problems with England Europe-wide. And you can see they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it until there's total chaos and collapse. And then you rebuild from the ashes, which is what I've told you loads of times, which is, how many times have I said it? It's the plot of Starship Troopers, the novel, not the TV, the movie, the novel. Total societal collapse. And then the veterans rebuild society with the leash off. And it's somewhat reminiscent of it's not totalitarian at all, really, when you actually read the fucking thing. But it reminisces it. It looks that way from the outside. But it's law and order, private property ownership, border control. Until they do that, Europe's done. It'll never get better. And that's what I keep telling you lot as well. when you meet people that are stupidly optimistic and they go, oh yeah, I believe our best days. It's always Starmer saying it. That's how we know it's bollocks. I believe our best days are ahead of us. You don't believe that. You don't believe. You're the only person who says it. Best days aren't ahead of you. When someone says to me, our best days are ahead of us, this is what I'm saying to you. Look at their policies now. If someone says, our best days are ahead of us, say, are there going to be more people on disability next year or less? Are there going to be more people living in council houses next year or less? Are there going to be more people coming in from the third world next year or less? Are there going to be more people clogging up the roads, using the NHS, using the dentist, filling the schools with the bastard offspring that they haven't never paid to feed? Are there going to be more of them or less? The answer to every single one of them questions, until you get total collapse, is yes. So you're done, aren't you? Aventius, I've never even heard of that. You'll have to send me a case. Sadwings. Yeah, put your money where your mouth is, fella. I'm kidding. I'm not skinned. You don't have to buy me a beer. I'll look it up. Aventius. I'll only be begging for money when I quit working. And I want to quit working. At some point, I figured I'd be past 100k by now, but YouTube keeps slapping me and you can't do it. I keep thinking I should follow Paz's lead. Paz was struggling, wasn't he? And then he took the leap about 2 years ago and ditched his old channel. Because once you're on the list, they just hamstring you for the rest of your life. Once you're on the list, you're done. And he took the plunge and started a new channel. And now he's up to about 160, isn't he? I've really got to do it, but I want that plaque. And I've put so much effort in for 5 years, I don't want to walk away from this channel. I started another one, but I've put no effort in. If I wasn't working 60 hours a week, I could do a video on here and a video on a burner every day, and then I could try it. But as it stands, I'm still working full time, so it's a bit of a pain up the arse. I'm going to soldier on until I quit, and then I'm going to live like a jippo and start another channel. I'm rolling the dice. Oh, you definitely are. You definitely are, because you're more right-wing than me. Once you get on the list, if you've ever had a strike, they know you. They put you on a list. I was flying until I got a strike at about 20k. It's been a crawl ever since. And I've showed you the numbers on mine. I was getting 30 to 40,000 on every video for about a month. And then I got another strike. And now I'm getting like 10. My last video got like 10k. It's embarrassingly low for a channel with nearly 72,000 subscribers. So they're playing with me. Every video I released last week, I'm just looking at my numbers now. Yeah, 13, 15, 15, 14, 13, 7 on one of them. And then you go back a month, everything I released did 40. The absolute wankers, aren't they? So when I get the chance, I intend to break away and start doing a burner. You need to, because it only takes one. I don't even think it's going to be the entire company. I think if one soy boy puts you on the list, you're done, aren't you? They know. So that's doing my head in. Anyway, I'll drink this and I'll feel much better momentarily. That's banging that, innit? Oh yeah, well, I get 1,000 in a live stream now. You see people with millions who don't get 1,000 in a live stream. I've clocked onto a live stream when you get some bloke who's like a tech guy. I like to watch tech channels or gun channels. I've got like 2 million subs. They get about 500 on a live screen. Anyway, I'll stop ranting about YouTube. Let's do some news, shall we? Here, this is a good one. I'll blow it up for you. So look at this here. I just want to give you an example of how mind-meltingly idiotic and hypocritical these thick bastards are. First things is, this guy is like, oh, I want Glastonbury Foot to do the right thing when Rod Stewart takes the stage. And I'm like, what? What's the right thing? What's the right thing? Beat him senseless and throw him in the gulag? All he said was, maybe we should let Farage have a chance. And they were like, oh, do the right thing. I was like, oh, he disagrees with us? Outrageous. They should make him wear a yellow star. This is what I'm telling you, right? And the next piece is more evidence. And I've told you this for years. They let the genie out the bottle. They let the genie out the bottle with Trump, okay? The people that run the world are idiots. They think they're clever. That's the problem I keep telling you. They think they're genius, but they aren't. They're midwit. And then they overly rely on propaganda and knowing that they own the mainstream media and the bureaucrats and the civil service and the radio waves and the TV networks. So they think they can say whatever they want and get away with it. But what they haven't realised is the people know now. And as I said, we get our news off alternative sources. So the goose is cooked really long term. Long term, they're in the shit. Short to medium, they aren't. But because they think they're cleverer than they are and they think they can say whatever they want and you'll always believe it all the time because you've got the IQ of a ham sandwich, right? These lunatics don't think about the ramifications. And again, I've never been wrong on any of these big calls. When I first got into YouTube ranting about it because I was so mad with the response to the pandemic, and then you can go back and watch the videos. These are like 5 years old at this point. And I was parroting Peter Hitchens from the very beginning. Like, they put everyone into lockdown, didn't they, in about February. And in about December or January, I was saying, like, Peter Hitchens is the only guy talking any sense here. Like, if it's already out the bag. If it's been in Italy in January, it's already gone around the entire world. We live in like a global world. There's no way we haven't all been exposed to it. So who cares? Let the kids go to the titty bars, take as many precautions as you can for the elderly and the knackered, and get on with it. But obviously, they're always wrong all the time. And they didn't think of the long-term ramifications of conditioning and brainwashing and lying. Because now everyone's distrustful of vaccines. Now, if there's a genuine pandemic with a really dangerous ailment, no one's going to want to take it. No one. Everyone's going to be like, yeah, cheers then. I've seen what happened last time. Pointless jab. Pointless, wasn't it? Pointless getting it. And me being a tight bastard, I told you, I got a booster because my wife's... Again, you were all there when I did a stream from Hawaii, didn't I, back in the day? I was like, I'm not getting any jabs. No, I'm not getting any more. I think it's bollocks. We all got lied to. We know now. And then they were like, oh, but if you want to go to Maui, you need to get a booster. I was like, give me one. Like, my confidence in my own constitution meant that basically, if you offered me a free holiday to Hawaii, I'd let you inject me with rat piss. So, but terrible. And this is what I'll tell you is hilarious. The lunatics, they go, oh, anti-vaxxer. And I was like, you can't say to a bloke who got him. You know what I mean? I was sceptical. Oh, Joe, you mustn't have been here that long. Crikey, back in the day, talked about this a lot. So I was like, no, I don't want one. And I don't fancy getting one. But if I have to get one to travel, I'll get one. I don't really care. Because when I was a bootneck, I got like rabies, yellow fever, and I got 3 anthrax jabs. I've had more jabs than Sonic's fucking missus. When Sonic's missus is licking his balls, she gets less pricks in her than I've had. I've had everything. And I got 3 anthrax. I'm assuming most of my channel's sensible enough to be pure blood. But yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. I was sceptical at the very beginning, but as I said at the time, I'm not scared of getting anything because I think I'm hard as nails. But I didn't want to get it. So the whole reason that I had this big rant about it was because it's immoral to tell you to take it. Like, you talk about body autonomy. You can't tell me I have, but that's what they did. When I wanted to, because I was in Nottingham at the time, right, when it was all going mental. And then I wanted to move back over here to see my missus. And they were like, you've got to get it. Under Biden, they were like, you have to get it. So I had to get 2. Did I get 2 or 3? I don't even remember. And I was pissed off about it because I wasn't scared because I'm convinced I'm invincible. That's the crack when you earn your Green Beret and then you get 200 injections in your balls off the Royal Navy clueless, what is it, like a corporal. And then you sort of don't become concerned about these things. But at the end of the day, I never wanted it in the first place. And they force people to have it. And that got me very, very angry about it because they don't have the right. I don't have the right to tell you that you're not allowed to travel unless you get a bastard jab. See, if it ain't broke, I don't fix it. This is what another thing I believe. Like, I'll probably find a conker-sized lump on my plums next week. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You can't do as much PT as me and have my own cat. There's no way. I did 200 flights of stairs in like 37 minutes on a step, and no hands the other day. It looked like the whole machine had been blasted with a riot horse. I thrashed myself till my eyes bleed when I got to the gym. There's no way I've got my or whatever cardiitis. But I didn't want to get it. I didn't want to get it. And I said it at the very beginning before I even went near him. That in itself is a tyrannical act to force people to get a jab. And that was what I was against from the very beginning. And these wankers now think they can put the genie back in the bottle. So they spent years indoctrinating people and brainwashing everybody and telling them you have to get one. Yeah, there you go. And yet another one forced to. They make you. And it's totally immoral and ridiculous. And because of their behaviour and their endless lies and the fear-mongering, granny killer, granny killer, granny killer. That's what I'm saying. This is what I told Nick Buckley when he was on my show last week, right? Granny killer, granny killer, granny killer. I've had 3 jabs, granny killer. Oh, okay then. And then, so I've had 3 jabs and they go, granny killer, granny killer, granny killer. And then they wait a couple of years and they go, go on, kill your fucking granny. Like, how have we got there? Like, I've got 3 jabs and I don't want to kill grannies. I'm definitely a granny killer. They physically want to kill your granny and they go, yeah, I'm not a granny killer. And this is what I'm getting at. The roundabout way I'm getting at, I know I rant a lot, is these people, that bloke's called Mr. Ethical, right? And he would kill you. Like, I genuinely believe he probably wouldn't have the courage to do it himself because it takes bottle to stare a man in the face. But I reckon he would happily, if he was a civil servant, a left-wing civil servant, Mr. Ethical would definitely stamp a bit of paper, like drag every single unvaccinated person off to the gulags and just don't feed them. He'll go, yeah, we'll do that. Basically kill them all is what he's going to do. But he hasn't got the courage to do what I do. And this is the irony. I'm called the angry bootneck. I'm nowhere near as angry as these people. These people are filled with hatred and resentment for the entire world. I don't even hate the left wing mostly. I told you I think it's the sheep. The only ones I really hate are the Baptist preacher, the flock leaders. I think most people are genuinely dumb enough to think they're doing the right thing. Yeah, there you go, look. Mum got the jab 3 times and got the Wu flu. It didn't do anything. My hypothesis in the beginning was that it wasn't full of nanobots because that would involve a lot of money and tech. It was just Perrier water and they were just flogging it for money. But it turns out it is actually bad for you, isn't it? I've read that it makes people infertile. Not too worried about that. Definitely drank myself infertile in my teens, so I'm not too concerned about that. And yeah, it's absolutely shocking, like the whole thing. Anyway, so Mr. Ethical, definitely more ethical than me, even though I've got a live and let live attitude towards everyone. He's definitely more ethical than me, even though he'd happily kill 20 million people for disagreeing with him politically and make them all wear a gold star. And here's another one, and this is what I'm talking about because it gets more and more violent as they go. Because you know I like arguing with these people. I eat death threats for breakfast. Obviously, you can't give them any because then you get banned and then the police will come round and arrest you. But they can send you as many death threats as they like. I told you I've had thousands. I've had thousands. I used to save my favourite ones. Anyway, this geezer, it says, oil tanker magnate John Fredrickson has left the UK for the UAE so he can pay even less tax on his 13.7 billion fortune. Good. F off. Right. Again, because these people are mentally ill and haven't got the brains they were born with. Hey, Richie Davies is in. Now then, how are you doing? Welcome. So, he says, yeah, good, F off. And I'm like, Elon Musk famously paid 11 billion in a single year in 2022. When you say nothing, how confident are you he paid nothing? Because I'm sure we can check. And the other one I said was, big talk, but your country kind of needs the money you fucking maniac. Because this is what I'm saying. These people are full-blown true believers as a result of the globalist sociopaths who think they can, like, roll back everything they do. But I'm into, well, I've already said hello to you, Kate. You're a fellow, you're a fellow headlock dragged into a clinic, forcibly jabbed. So what I'm getting at is, they're dangerous, like they're proper dangerous, these people, because they're true believers. And it's because when Trump and Brexit happened, it sent the world mad. Again, I like the way the Brits were there first. Brexit was like, what, 6 months before Trump? Brits jumped in there, did that, and then shortly afterwards, Trumpy Bear gets elected, and it sent the world completely insane. So they call everybody a November Alpha Zulu, but the only people that are as far in their camp politically as a full-blown goose-stepping gas chamber bloke in the 1940s, the only people that are actually practicing what they preach is the left in this day and age. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows this. There's 910 people in the chat, right? Even if one of them is woke, you must concede this, right? We all know that boring, milquetoast, conservative people are not genocidal madmen, right? Sargon of Akkad, or Paz, or Charlie Kirk. They're just not. Or Ben Shapiro, or Donald Trump, or Pete Hegseth, or any of them. Nobody is far right. None of them. The tiny, tiny sliver of people that are actually far right haven't got media status, aren't in power, aren't presidents, aren't prime ministers, aren't world leaders. Every single person knows this to be the case. Donald Trump, Nigel Farage, Maloney, none of them are actually far right. They're boring. They're boring. Donald Trump's not going to kill anyone, but they call everybody as if they're killers, as if they're stone cold killers. And this is what I'm telling you. This is why we're in trouble. Because when you post things like that on Twitter, you just get endless hatred back from these people. And they're saying things like that. Good riddance to this disgusting piece of shit. It's like, I don't say that about my political opponents, and Trump doesn't say that, and Pete Hegseth doesn't say that. So what I'm saying to you is, if it isn't obvious by the unending hatred that you get from these little lunatics, people that don't hate, why is he calling him a disgusting piece of shit? He doesn't even know him. He might just be a boring old bloke. But they've been conditioned. So when I see a Guardian reader, I just think they're thick. I just think they're ignorant. But they literally would, if they got the chance, and this is what I'm getting at, what David Starkey said, if they got the chance, they definitely would kill us all. Like, don't you think? Like, does anyone, I'm not even joking there, that's not hyperbole. I think the people in the pulpit, the big leaders from the far left, the proper woke, conditioned by CNN and the BBC and the Guardian for the last 10 years, especially since Trump, when they really ramped it up, they've been driven mad. And I genuinely, I'm not saying it for hyperbole, I genuinely think the big tops, the people in charge, the woke crowd, I think they would kill us. I don't think they'd have the courage to do it face to face, but they'd starve you all to death in the gulags. That's what they want to do. They would put you in the gulags. And the amount of evil, sick stuff you see them posting with impunity is genuinely staggering. You're just sitting there going, okay, so I'm the bad guy, am I? I don't get it. I don't get how they think we're the villains. It's completely mental. And yeah, that's where we're at. That's what I'm saying. So the problem is, they thought they could roll back everything they did. They were like, what we'll do is, we'll get Tobias on it. We'll get 67 Brigade. We'll get the intelligence professionals. We'll do military-grade psychological conditioning and propaganda on hundreds of millions of people. And then when it suits us, we'll just roll it back. And you can't. It's a genie you can't put back in the bottle. They've ruined the legitimacy of vaccines forever. Polio, tetanus, smallpox, all these things that made the world a better place. Think how many lives smallpox and TB vaccines saved. And now, because of the endless lies and the brainwashing, when it suited them, now no one trusts them. That's their fault. So they've killed hundreds of millions of people, and they go, hey then, I'm going to make an omelette. You got to break some eggs. That's their attitude. And then they call people like me and you that are disgusted by it and appalled by it. They call you a bad person. You're a bad person. You know what I'm appalled by? Endemic kiddie fiddlers being ignored by the British government and the police, but apparently they're the good people. I'm appalled by the hundreds of millions of dead that are going to result from the lies and machinations of the globalist sociopaths, but apparently they're the good people, and I'm not, because I don't like Klaus Schwab. And I'm appalled by the mass sexual abuse, surprise sex, torture, abuse, murder. There's loads of murders as a result of letting 10 million hairy-arsed geezers from the third world into Europe. And when you get upset about all that stuff, they go, you're a bad person. It's like, okay. And then they send you memes of, I've seen a meme floating around a lot of like, because you see people saying, like me saying to them, like, oh, hang on, you don't sound very tolerant, do you? And they'll have a meme clipped from Inglourious Bastards, where the German bloke's like, oh, I thought you guys were supposed to be the good guys. And then he just smashes his skull in with a baseball bat and beats him to death. And they just send that to you. You complain to them and go, oh yeah, you're tolerant. And they just send me memes like, oh yeah, look, I'm going to smash your head in with a brick till you're dead. And you go, oh yeah, nice people. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So this is how much trouble we're in. We've got true believers out there. Keir Starmer's a true believer. I genuinely think. I genuinely believe it. It's not hyperbole. I think if Keir Starmer could round up every single person who supports Donald Trump and put them all in a camp in the middle of the desert by just filling out some paper and leave you all to starve to death, he would do it. I definitely think he'd kill us all. He's a true believer, isn't he? David Starkey said he's a true believer. The man is a terrifying robot sociopath. So what can you do? Well, you can get pissed off and whinge about it. or chuckle on the way to the gulag. Like I said, you can chuckle. Solzhenitsyn, when you read the Gulag Archipelago, he always kept his sense of humour. I suppose that's what you have to do, innit? There's nothing else you can do. But no, they're definitely terrifying. The lunatics that run in the world these days are genuinely terrifying. And this is what we're dealing with, true believers. So, to sum up, they're throwing all of the billionaires out. They're telling them, good riddance, we don't need the money. Like all of them. Who cares? Good. F off. Yeah, cheers. See how that goes for you. You're circling the drain, boys and girls. These people are lunatics, true believers, ideologues. Farage and Trump aren't. Farage and Trump are boring, centre-right. The things they advocate were commonplace in the 90s. Prove me wrong. Anyone in the chat got anything for me? Is there anything Trump said that wasn't normal conservative policy in 1993? Anything? Because I can't think of anything. Oh, he definitely was. 100%. Come back, Mr. McCarthy, all is forgiven. 100%. Like, communism, what these it's rebranded, but that's what it is the end of civilizations. It's the drinker of blood. It's the baby killer. It's the ender of civilization as we know it. And these people, when you go online and you say something like that, true believer, They will take everything from everyone that has more than them, because it's pure bitterness and resentment and hatred. And the normal centre-left and the normal centre-right and the centrists and the far-right and everybody else is appalled by it, because they know, deep down they know, the centre-left know, the far-right aren't as dangerous as the far-left, because it's not as perfidious, it's not as insidious. Far-right's very punch you in the face, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. These fuckers, that's why it's more dangerous. That's why McCarthy was right, because it sounds better. We just want to help everyone. We want to be nice, yeah. And then everyone starves to death and they go, whoops, real communism hasn't been tried. Why do you think the death toll's so different? I've said this loads of times. Living under a far-right fascist would be awful, but it wouldn't be that bad. Because at least to get the buses running on time. That's why it's funny. Because it's true. Like so much comedy. It's funny because it's true. If you got a far-right fascist in charge, at least stuff would work. You'd be like, oh, but I'm a good worker, me. I pull my weight in the fields. And you'd be like, oh, okay, well done. You get an extra carrot this week. Under communism, you all just starve to death. Because it's the death of effort. It's the death of effort. There you go, I've coined that phrase. I haven't heard that anywhere else. Make a t-shirt with a hammer and sickle on it. The death of effort. That's what communism is. They know this. And that's why even the centre-left know. If you're under a far-right fascist, as long as you can still do the tiny amount of stuff you enjoy, it wouldn't be that bad. Like, I think I'd be all right, because I'm an hard worker. If they said you have to do 10 hours a week, 10 hours a day on this farm, I'd just do it. It wouldn't be that bad. But when the death of effort comes along, you all inadvertently starve to death, don't you? Because you just won't do it. You just won't. We're going to just take everything from you. The more effort you put in, the more we'll steal from you. It just makes normal people go, well, I'm not doing it. They don't understand the stubbornness of the normal man in the street. Nobody will do it. As I've said, they've proved it with children. You get a lot of kids in a school class and you say to them all, oh, we're going to do a joint paper and we all get one grade. All the straight A students suddenly stop trying because they get pissed off. Because all the students who do no work at all get the same grade as the straight A students. So within 2 tests, it's total regression. And that's what I'm saying. It's the death of effort. Nobody tries anymore. And everybody starves to death. And then it's dog eat dog, law of the jungle. So this is why these people are just the death of civilization. On a more pleasant note, let's talk about Keir Starmer, shall we? I was rambling a bit there. Oh, that's good shit, that. I'm telling you, Kirkland Signature. Oh, sign me up, baby. I'll have to get a suit off them. Probably make me look like, I don't know, who looks good in a suit? I think it said Boy George there, not a gimp suit. My references are getting terrible in my old age. No, I was saying, like, I don't know any young, attractive women now. I do know one now to replace Angelina Jolie. Because I always say Angelina Jolie and she's older than me. What's that? Sydney Sweeney, she's hot and she's young. So I've got one. Anyway, Starmer said fixing welfare is a moral imperative. So he knows he's done. Yeah, that's what it is, Costco lager. Absolutely class. I was telling them before you turned up, this stuff's good, look. I did my research. It's brewed by a little brewery called Deschutes, which I visited when I was in Portland, and they won a gold beer medal, and then they canned loads of it for Costco. So Costco lager is absolutely banging. It's 8 out of 10, that. That's like a Rangy Boom or Grolsch or something good. You know what, I think I've mentioned this before. Because Middlesbrough's weird and it's like a port, and everyone used to steal crates and sell them at the pubs. You could buy booze in Borough that you never saw anywhere else. And when I was like 18, I was in a bar drinking Cold 45. Remember the DJ used to shout up special offers and he'd go like, for the next minute, Cold 45 is 50 pence a can. And we all went over and, oh yeah, he reminded me. I keep forgetting the Starmer meme. I do. Well done, Stu. Definitely worth £2 to tell me that. Cheers, mate. Yeah, anyway, weird Chinese, Indian and American beer when I was a teenager. That's why I'll drink anything. I'll drink rat piss if it's 4.5%. Anyway, Starmer says fixing welfare is a moral imperative.
Gay!
There you go, it's still there. Sorry, I didn't time that one very well. Starmer
Gay!
says fixing welfare is a moral imperative. That works class, that, doesn't it? In fact, I forgot I uploaded this one. I've been playing around looking for new videos. You'll love this. I totally forgot about it. That's why it's tickled me. So about a week ago, I was filming a video and I was mentioning Rachel Reeves, and I wanted to get it fixed so that every time I say Rachel Reeves, it goes, she's a spastic, you know, because on Romper Stomper when she has a seizure. So I'll play you the full clip. I haven't clipped it yet. I just want it at the perfect spot. So when I go, Rachel Reeves, it goes, she's a spastic. But here's the clip anyway. You'll remember this.
What's wrong? She's a spastic.
That's perfect, isn't it? That's perfect for Rachel Reeves. I need to clip it because you can't. I don't think I can get away with the whole thing. Anyway, Mr. Steve, I'm writing a novel that might save the West or land me in prison. Not sure yet, but the more time goes on, the worse it looks for me. Please take this £10 and smuggle me into the US. I don't think a tenner. I don't think I have the power, Steve, unfortunately. If Biden was still in charge, I could just lump you onto the tomato wagon and drive you straight up through the border. But now the Orange Oracle's there with his all-seeing eye. Mr. Horman is the eye of Sauron. I think we're knackered. I think we've got no chance. So, yeah, unfortunate that. But those clips are brilliant. And what I will do is, if you write your novel and send me it, I'll plug it for you. Save the West. I'll plug your novel for you, Mr. Steve, 100%. As for looking out for you, I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, wait until the next Democrat's in, and then you can just walk in. Then you just walk in and you can live in my spare room. Easy. I'll do that for you if the British government are chasing you. He didn't even need to do that, did he? He just goes rock up. No one cared. Anyway, so... Sorry, nearly said it. We have to do at least some news today. So, Starmer...
Gay!
Has now gone with the fixing welfare as a moral imperative line because he knows that he can't do anything. Because again, they keep feeding the crocodiles thinking they can just walk everything back. This little rat thought he could just take power by saying whatever he wants, doing whatever he wants. How two-faced is he? The evidence is right there. The evidence is he's more two-faced than Man-E faces off He-Man. He'll say 1,000 times, Trump's this, Trump's that, Trump's a fascist. And then the second he goes over there, he's like, oh, hello, Donald, let me tie your shoelace for you, Donald. Oh, I have organised a state visit for you, Donald. It's cringe. Like, this is what I mean. I prefer outright dyed-in-the-wool lefties like Corbyn or something. He'd never say anything nice to him. Starmer's just an absolute rat. Like an absolute rat. I can't believe... Anyway, don't start me on that. So, now he's trying to go against the left. He can't do it because he's empowered them. And they've got him by the short and curlies. So he can't fix Britain. All the problems that ail you, the welfare is ludicrous. It's bankrupting your country. I can't even believe the UK is still a functioning country. When you look at the numbers, if you've got 18 million disabled and 18 million pensioners, who's doing the work? And then 1 in 4 young people are neats because they don't want to do out. Who's paying the bill? Who's bringing money in the UK? The only people who are bringing money in decent numbers in the UK are the wealthy. And as I've just showed you, they're all leaving. So you are circling the drain. The UK is knackered, just like every single time the Labour Party get into power. The UK is knackered. You're circling the drain. You've got 18 million raspberry ripples, right? You've got 18 million pensioners. You've got 5 million young people not working. And all the rich people are on the toes because these psychopaths, they're not even just robbing them. They're robbing them and calling them scum. At least in the old days they'd say, oh, thank you so much for your income tax payment, sir. Now they go, give us your money, scum. And if you want to leave, just fuck off. We don't care, scum. Why don't you just leave, scum? So they're going, all right, and I will. I might have tolerated it if you were lying to me and being polite about it. But if you're just going to insult me while you're stealing off me, I'll just do one. So the UK's done. If anyone thinks I'm wrong, tell me, where's the money going to come from? You're 3 trillion in debt. Every day, another millionaire leaves. The only people who are paying taxes. You've got 18 million disabled, 18 million raspberry ripples, 18 million pensioners, 5 million neets, nobody's doing any work. The only people paying income tax in any decent number are the rich, and they are leaving. And it might be, you might not notice it because maths is like that. That's why people get confused by numbers. That's why Bootneck, fingers crossed, is going to be wealthy in a few years' time because he's skint now because he puts all of his wages into shares and stocks. But fingers crossed, make loads of money because they've made a mass consumer product, Starling. Humans are bad with numbers. They don't really... Numbers on a page don't talk to humans. That's why robots are good at that, computers. We're visual. We only remember things, not just words and letters. So... Numbers like 1 billion don't really mean things to people. But it's like my brother's boss, Mike Ashley, always said, like, if you want to really get rich, you don't sell boutique products, you sell shite. Like, you won't get really rich selling £10,000 jackets, like, Gucci jackets or Burberry. If you really want to make money, you sell 1 billion pairs of socks to Indians. Do you know what I mean? That's how you make money. You make shite and you sell it cheap. It's the numbers, right? So because there's 75 million people, so the UK's population is ridiculous now. A couple of thousand, you don't notice. A couple of thousand millionaires leave, you don't notice. But very quickly the squeeze is coming. Because some of them pay millions in taxes. So... The thousands every week aren't instantly noticeable. But when those tens of millions / billions aren't going into coffers anymore, the UK's done. The UK's done. The US is pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But this is why I'm telling you, I'm happy. That's why I don't make that much content about the States anymore. As I've said, I'm like a necromancer. I go with who needs the help, right? In Diablo, Necromancer, when the evil are winning, he goes with the good. When the good are getting too powerful, he goes with the evil. I like balance. I'm a centrist in all things. That's why I like Trump over here, because we need to redress the balance of 4 years of lunacy, open borders. And the US, at least the United States, has got a massive tax base, a prosperous, hard-working workforce, because they don't throw disability money at you. It's actually hard to get disability in America. The only people that are sponging now in America is the veterans, but you can't slag them off, so that'll never get fixed. That is something I'd make a video about. I know, like, several of my employees who aren't disabled get, like, 80%, 60%. A couple of them get 100% disability of the government because they're veterans. It's the one blind spot the Americans have got because they felt so guilty after Vietnam. That's why they're all over the top with the military. That's why they're mega over the top of the military. And they're all, oh, thank you for your service, sir. British soldiers like me, you find it a bit cringe, but it's because they felt bad after Vietnam. They've overcorrected. And the overcorrection means that they're over the top with all of the veterans shit. So that's the one aspect of the US's disability policy. But that's only veterans. So it's only like 1 in every 20 people or something. That's our Achilles heel. But in the UK, it's going to bankrupt you. It's 1 in 4 people. 1 in 4 people and the pensioners. So you're absolutely knackered and he's not going to be able to roll it back. Let's have a quick read before I bugger off. I've got to do one story today, right? Sir Keir Starmer
Gay!
has said the UK's benefit system is broken and fixing it is a moral imperative. A day after a backbench Labour revolt saw him forced into a U-turn because he's hamstrung himself, because he's a moron, he's a liar, and he's got more faces than your town hall clock. The Prime Minister said the Welsh Labour Party conference, the government would not take away the welfare safety net that vulnerable people rely on. There isn't 18 million vulnerable people, you absolute plank. 18 million. Some moron sent me a message on Twitter having a go, I can't believe I'm having a go at vulnerable people. I was like, I'm not having a go at vulnerable people. I'm having a go at thieves and liars. Of that 18 million, it's probably about 3 million actual disabled. Let's give them the money. In fact, I'm safeguarding them, because if you took all that money off the thieves and the liars and the cheats, you could give more money to the vulnerable. But 18 million isn't vulnerable. If fucking 18 million, how is any 18 million of anything vulnerable? Have you seen a gang of 18 million people? You wouldn't go, oh fuck, they're vulnerable. You're not vulnerable. 18 million, not vulnerable. Thieves, crooks, cheats, liars. That's what they are. But he said he could not let benefits become a snare for those who can and want to work. It will. It is. It is a snare. Labour MPs want further changes. The Unite Union, communists, want the proposal to be dropped altogether. So it will. So it will. He's going to get nowhere. Fixing it is a moral imperative, but we need to do it. Bollocks. It's not going to happen. You're all knackered. You're all and $1 billion support originally scheduled for 2029 will be faster. There's another $1 billion you haven't got. There's another. People, you're done. You're done. What do I keep telling you? Save your money. Train. Eat clean and healthy. It's very cheap. Eat clean and healthy. It's super cheap. Save your money. If you only have a drink once a month, drink a lot of water. That's free. Well, water rates. Actually, yeah, it's not. It's £1 a pint. It's cheaper than Coke, right? Live clean. Save your money. Embrace a Spartan lifestyle. Do it now. You're going to need it. You're going to need it. Save your money. Do a lot of jogging. Eat healthy. Cut down on niceties. You need to embrace it early. The UK is knackered. So I'm telling you, the circle in the drain. Every week, more millionaires are going to leave. Nobody's paying income tax. Whatever you can do to take precautions, do it. You have to embrace the Spartan lifestyle. If you're not going to the gym, start. If you can't afford a gym, go for a walk, get a jog. Google legal weapons UK and get several of them. Stockpile food. Get some of those straws you can drink out the river. Be sensible, because when it kicks off, it's going to kick off massively. And that is good news, because it'll be the beginning of the end. It's the Starship Troopers novel. Then it kicks off. Then there'll be mass chaos and tens of thousands of people will die, because there was no need for this to happen. But it will happen, because they imported 10 million full-blown Allen's snack bar enjoyers to Western Europe. It's going to kick off, but you have to take as many precautions as you can. And until then, just have a laugh. Have a laugh as the world burns down around you. At least that's ripping the plaster off. Right? You're going to go bankrupt. You are definitely going to go bankrupt. If you don't think you are, you can't do maths. You've got a quarter of the country's raspberries, quarter of the country's pensioners, quarter of the country don't want to work. You're not making any money. All the rich people are leaving. Google it. Legal weapons. Google it. Long storage supplies. Get some rations and get some of those straws. Look like life straws. You can drink out of a river and it won't poison you. Gotta take every precaution, because I'm telling you, it's going to get way, way worse. And I've told you this for 5 years. It's going to get much, much worse before it gets better. So embrace it, okay? And then the cherry on top, obviously you're going to go bankrupt because Rachel Reeves is running the show. Rachel Reeves.
What's wrong? She's a spastic.
Yes, she is indeed. She's got the fiscal responsibility of a piss sailor on shore leave. So suck it up, lads. Going to get much worse before it gets better, all right? On that note, I'm going to go and get pissed with my workmates. All right. Can't be helped. Can't be helped, lads. Just get used to the tramp piss. If I had to, I'll happily drink 2.3% Aldi lager. Who cares? Who cares? They'll never get me down, ever. I told you I will rip my own fucking heart out and eat it before I will ever concede anything to the woke, sociopaths, Klaus and the rest of them. Fuck them all, okay? Steve, thanks. Less of a plug offering next time. Okay, I won't offer you a plug anymore. But you can live in my spare room. And I've even got a spare firearm. You just have to get yourself in the back of the tomato wagon, Steve. All right? See you all soon. Have a good Saturday night. And I'll see you on Monday, all right? Toodle pip. Cheers.